In this video, we will talk in more detail about training. You will find out how the curriculum is structured, what programs are available, and what knowledge and skills an employee can acquire. Kaspersky ASAP belongs to the Kaspersky Security Awareness product line and is part of a comprehensive solution aimed at creating a cybersecurity culture in your organization and reducing the risk of incidents. Training is based on a unified competency model. More than 350 skills are available for users to learn. Management is automated, allowing you to easily create a continuous training cycle. The curriculum includes blocks of different activities to ensure maximum learning retention. The platform allows you to approach training as flexibly as possible, taking into account the specifics of each employee. The product is not just a content library, but a well-designed system that solves all training tasks with a methodological approach. Let's open the content page to get acquainted with the available training materials and curriculum. There are two types of courses on the platform: Main Course and Express Course. The Main Course consists of modules. Each training module is dedicated to a specific topic at the corresponding level of complexity. A training module consists of several lessons of 5 to 15 minutes, which are then reinforced by repetition, testing, and simulated phishing attacks if applicable. Let's click the pie chart icon on the right to view the content of the main course. You can see a universal, multi-level training plan. Skills are grouped by security domain and level of difficulty. Each level of the program corresponds to the skills acquired and the complexity of the topics studied. Note that when you select a level, the diagram shows the lessons available for each topic. You can see that some sectors are not highlighted in the chart, which means that some modules are not available for this topic. For example, to master all the skills within the personal data topic, it is sufficient to successfully complete the beginner, elementary, and intermediate levels. Also note that new training modules appear as the content library is updated. Domains are represented in the chart, and an administrator can select any of them to see the skills that employees will learn from this topic. Although some important cybersecurity concepts don't have dedicated topics in the curriculum, they are still covered in the training materials for students to study. Such concepts are listed as hashtags in the About the Program tab. For example, let's click on the social engineering hashtag and take a look at the corresponding pie chart with the training plan. So to counter social engineering, an employee needs to master skills from the following topics: email, intermediate, websites and the internet, beginner, social media and messengers, and PC security, both intermediate. This allows the administrator to use hashtags to determine which topics employees need to study, to be aware of a particular information security concept, and to build a training plan for them based on this information. You can also click a pie chart sector to open a learning path for that topic. Let's take a look at the beginner email training. You can see a schedule, lesson plans, and all the components of this course: lessons, email reinforcement, test, and a simulated phishing attack. The training plan used on our platform is automated and takes into account the forgetting curve theory, according to which you need to periodically review or use the material you learned to remember it better. For this reason, it is impossible to change the intervals, disable email reinforcement or tests. An administrator can configure two training parameters: allow early testing and disable the sending of pseudo-phishing emails. Both settings are global and affect all training programs launched in the company. Early testing allows the administrator to give users the option of taking a test instead of studying the training module. Employees who already have some knowledge and skills can take the exam immediately and move on to the next level or topic according to their training plan. If the simulation of phishing attacks has not been approved by the company or there are technical difficulties with its implementation, you can disable it so that this activity does not affect the training results. The administrator can view all materials in the Management Console. More than 25 languages are supported. All examples used in the training program are localized for each region. This topic is divided into 5 lessons. All of them are fairly short and aim to teach 1 or 2 practical skills. Let's take a look at one of them. All lessons are sequential and have the same structure, allowing you to effectively teach users throughout the entire program. Lessons are interactive and require employees to interact with the materials. In the course of lessons, questions may arise that require a response from the user. Real-world examples are used in the training that take into account regional specifics. In particular, because the lesson is in English, you can see an example of a phishing email on the screen that mimics a message from Bank of America. It is worth noting that administrators can add their own content to lessons. For example, to familiarize employees with internal security standards or policies and get confirmation that they have read and agree with these documents. Or maybe you have some corporate educational materials, best practices, or examples that you can use for training. Let's add a custom slide at the end of the tutorial. To do this, click the Custom Content Editor button. Note that you can add multiple slides, each contains a few fields where you can enter custom information. Let's add a slide that contains the key points about protecting against phishing and the statement of responsibility for compromising corporate data. First, let's name the slide and add an image. Then copy and paste the statement into the slide body. Text supports standard formatting. You can create a list, set text alignment, style, etc. Let's set the phrase "I agree" in bold and create a button with the same text. The user will need to click it to continue. Note that you can add up to 5 files to a slide up to 25 megabytes each. At the end of the lesson, an employee will read the statement of responsibility for compromising corporate data and click the "I agree" button to confirm this. Let's publish the slide. It is important to note that we have only added the slide to the English version of the lesson. Custom changes are not automatically copied to other versions of the module. If you need to add materials to modules in other languages, open the lesson in the corresponding language and make your changes. We have completed the lesson, let's close it. Notice the icon that has appeared next to the first lesson. It reminds administrators that custom training materials have been added to the lesson. If you hover over this icon, you can see the language of the custom slides. 4 days after employees complete all the lessons, they will receive a reinforcement email message. It contains the main points of the topic studied and real-life examples that help refresh the material studied and the skills mastered, and also emphasize the importance of this topic for each employee personally. Such a reinforcement email message is part of the training plan. You cannot stop it from being sent or change its content. The next step is the exam. 3 days after the reinforcement email, the user will receive a message with an invitation to take a test. Questions for each test are selected randomly from a general pool. This helps prevent cheating. There is no point in memorizing or writing down questions. By default, students need to answer 80% of the questions correctly to pass, but you can change this for each group of students. We will discuss this in more detail in a future video. If employees fail the exam, they can retake it in 3 days. In the meantime, users can review all the materials they have completed. The last step of the training program is a pseudo-phishing email. It is automatically sent 3 days after a user passes the exam. A simulated phishing attack and reinforcement email are part of the training program. You cannot change their timing or content. The pseudo-phishing message is designed specifically for employees to practice the skills they learned during the lesson. This is a message sent to students who pass the exam. Email beginner. When the user clicks the Reset Your Password button, a web page opens that states the user has fallen for the phishing email. It also contains tips on how to recognize phishing, along with a few other prompts and recommendations. That's it for the main course. Let's proceed to the Express course. This is a shorter version of the audio and video material on the topic. Each topic contains several short lessons and quizzes designed to help users quickly master basic cybersecurity skills. Let's start the Email Express course to take a look at the training program. Unlike the main course, the Express course does not include email reinforcement or pseudo-phishing attacks and takes less time for the user to master. The material is presented in the form of short, interactive exercises that require user participation.
Email is one of today's most crucial ways of communicating, and the key to everything you're connected to online. We use email every day to send and receive all sorts of information. But dangerous phishing emails also make their way into this never-ending stream. Phishing.
An Express course is useful for user groups that need to quickly conduct basic training or for employees who have already completed training in the past and need a reminder of the basics of information security.
This email was sent by a scammer.
You can assign Express training either separately from the main course or in addition to it. If the administrator enables testing for Express courses, users will need to take a test after completing each module to demonstrate what they have learned. It is worth noting that in this case you can retake a test immediately and the number of attempts is not limited. Employees who pass the control test receive a certificate. So we've looked at the available training programs, how the lesson plan is structured, what knowledge employees can acquire and skills they can master. Now it is time to move on to the initial setup of a company workspace. We'll tell you about that in the next video.